What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap show. We're going to do a little week 15 recap. It was actually my best week yet. Went 14 for 16, missed 2 picks. I missed the Seattle game because Seattle didn't cover. They only won by 6, and I missed the Oakland game. But every game I got correct besides those 2. It was a great weekend, baby. I told you, come closer to the playoff time. That's when my picks are more clear cut. And the main reason why a lot of people went heavy on the Browns. You know, to me, it's like, really? You guys are still on the Browns bandwagon? You know, at this point, the Browns have so much talent, and I know I've been on record, and I said it over and over again, but it's so disappointing. They have so much talent, and yet they're not going to make the playoffs. To me, it's really disturbing what Cleveland's doing right now, and that goes to show you, Cleveland hasn't had a good quarterback in. Dude, I can't even tell you. I wasn't even existed. They haven't even had a good quarterback. I mean, seriously, it's been a horrible. But first of all, I told you guys about the Patriots. Patriots definitely are not the same team. They played the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals we're talking about, they're trash. One of the worst organizations in football today in the past 5-10 years. Horrible organization. To me, that was an easy, clear-cut pick. To me, yes, the Patriots had some investigations with on the field. They're spying on their plays. To me, they've been around, but to me, I'm hearing a lot of people saying, look, it's going to be it for the Patriots. And to me, it's like, really? We're going to give up on the Patriots like that, one and done in the playoffs? We're talking about the playoffs here, one and done. To me, I just can't count out the Patriots yet. I know they're not the same team right now. The offense has been looking really, really sus. And to me, it's just kind of like I can't go against them yet. Bucks versus the Lions. Got that pick right. To me, the Lions, this was a gimme pick. This was easy money. We're talking the Lions here. The Detroit Lions. Dude, that's all I got to say. The Bucks won. We got it. Bears versus the Packers. This was my pick, stone cold right here. I went heavy on this pick. I told you guys the Packers heavy, baby. We're talking about the Chicago Bears. We're talking about Mitch who? He's a bust, dude. The Chicago Bears messed up. You know, they had the opportunities to get Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and to me, they just passed up on him for a guy named Mitch. So let's check the clock. The Chicago Bears, you guys are out of the playoffs. That's crazy. For all the talent they have and how good the Bears defense is, they're out. What? Yes, the Chicago Bears organization messed up. You guys drafted the wrong quarterback. Point blank, period. You guys are going to have to draft another one. Texans versus the Titans. I went heavy on the Texans here. Why? For one reason, Deshaun Watson. To me, the Ryan Tannehill, good quarterback, but he's no Deshaun Watson. He's not a superstar. Deshaun Watson, a future superstar. We're talking about the Houston Texans here. They're a playoff team. And I do believe they can run deep in the playoffs. They could be a threat, although I think Kansas City's the biggest threat to the Baltimore Ravens. That's what it's going to come down to. But to me, I love Deshaun Watson and what he's doing with Houston right now. And the Houston Texans will be in the playoffs. Broncos versus the Chiefs. I told you guys to go heavy on the Chiefs. I told you. 14 for 16. It's been a great week for me. Patrick Mahomes, I told you, he's dangerous. And to me, the why I think it's the biggest threat for Baltimore Ravens is they could score at will. We're talking they could put up points in a hurry. And to me, that's very dangerous in the playoffs. And we've seen it time to time again what Patrick Mahomes can do. He can scramble. He can make the extra play, kind of like Russell Wilson. To me, it's very dangerous. The Chiefs are very, very dangerous in the playoffs. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe squeak out a win. You never know. They could possibly upset the Ravens. I know it sounds crazy, but they can possibly do it. Miami versus the Giants. I went heavy on the Giants here. Shout out to Eli. Probably Eli's last game in New York. To me, Eli's a Hall of Famer. He beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. Has the best Super Bowl moment in history. To me, Eli definitely a Hall of Famer. Stamp it right now. Eli is a Hall of Famer strictly because he won those 2 Super Bowls. Strictly because it was against the New England Patriots. Yes, that's why. To me, Eli's in there. He's in there right now. Exactly. So I love the Giants in that. Eagles versus the Redskins. I went heavy on the Eagles here, like I told you guys. And we're talking about the Washington Redskins here. I mean, who's their quarterback? Who's their running back? I don't know exactly. And to me, Philly's in a prime spot right now. Philly has a huge week against the Dallas Cowboys. To me, although that game's definitely a coin flip situation, but I might have to go heavy on the boys, and I'll get more into that. But the big win for the Eagles, because the Eagles can still squeak in. They're 7-7, dude. They're 500. Same thing with the Cowboys, 7-7, 500. That's crazy to me, and yet they can still make the playoffs. You know, it's anyone's game right now. Seattle versus the Panthers did not cover. They won by 6. The line was 6.5. To me, it was kind of disappointing, but like I said, Seattle, they're probably going to get a first-round bye, and to me, that's very dangerous. When Seattle gets a first-round bye in the playoffs, we've seen it time to time again. We've seen it when they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots that year. They had a first-round bye, and look, you know, what did Pete Carroll do? He said, you know what, we got Marshawn Lynch, the best running back in the game, but we're going to throw the ball on the 1-yard line. You know, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? No, absolutely it doesn't. Pete Carroll's a dumbass. Although he is a champion, he's won championships, actually won a couple national championships, but to me, he should have won 3. 3 national championships and 2 Super Bowls. You know, but to me, it's just dumb coaching by Pete Carroll in big-time situations where Pete Carroll comes up short. But like I said, Pete Carroll's a champion. We can't knock him for that. Seattle still got the W, and they're still going to make it to playoffs and get that first-round bye. That's what I believe. Jaguars versus Oakland. This was the second game I got wrong. I picked Oakland. Look, John Gruden, a great coach, a championship coach. To me, I'm just not sold on Derek Carr. You know, Derek Carr's probably their weakness. I mean, to be honest, Derek Carr's been there for what, about 5 years? What's he done in Oakland ever since he got drafted? Tell me. Exactly. He hasn't done much. And to me, I think Oakland needs to start at the quarterback position. Just like the Indianapolis Colts. They need to draft a quarterback. You know, to me, it's just, you know, and me being from Indiana, a diehard Colts fan, as we know, they're getting blown out right now. To me, it's just like, you know, what's Jim Irsay thinking? You know, let's rewind the clocks here. When we had Peyton Manning, we let Peyton Manning go. You know, and we're all of us Colts fans are like, oh, he's past his prime now. Well, what did he go do? He went to the Denver Broncos and won a Super Bowl. You know, so to me, it's just like, really? We had a couple more years out of Peyton. I don't care if he was in his prime or not. He's better than Andrew Luck. What's Andrew Luck doing right now? Exactly. He's retired, dude. He's watching the games at the bar. You know, probably getting blacked out at the bar, watching the games, laughing at the Colts, saying how trash they are. I don't blame them. Do you? If I was Andrew Luck, I would have done the same thing. I would have said, Indianapolis Colts, I'm out of here. I don't want to play for you guys. Why would I? You know, organization that lets our savior go. He was like Jesus to us. Peyton Manning was the savior to the Colts, dude. And we just let him go. Goes to show you what Jim Irsay's doing. Jim Irsay, lay out the pills one time. Browns versus Arizona. This was another game I picked. I picked Arizona. Why? Because the Browns are all hype. Do you guys remember at the beginning of the season what they were saying about the Browns? Yeah, the Browns are going to make the playoffs. Yeah, they're going to win over 8 games. Really? No, they're not. Not even close. And to me, it starts with their coaching for sure, but it starts at the quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Baker, he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. You know, you could call me a hater all you want. These are facts. These are the numbers. More picks than touchdowns. You know, and Baker, you know, yes, he worked hard to get to the league, but let's be honest here. He's another Cleveland Browns quarterback. He's another bust. You know, I mean, seriously, you know, there's no excuse this year. They have so much talent, great running backs, great receiving core, and yet they haven't even won 7 games. They're done, dude. They're not in the playoffs. You know, I mean, what do you guys play for in the NFL if you don't play to make the playoffs? You know, let alone win a Super Bowl. To me, it's just it's really been a shame. That's probably the most disappointing team to me this year is the Cleveland Browns. It really is. And I knew what they were gonna do. It's every year. It's like watching the same movie over and over again. You know what's gonna happen? Cleveland Browns next year are gonna have all the hype again, and they're not gonna win 8 games. It's really tragic, but that's why I went Arizona at home. Kyle Murray, yes, he's fresh into the league. To me, Arizona, I do believe will be good in the next couple years once they get playmakers around Murray. He's still young. I still think he's kind of like a Russell Wilson-esque quarterback. I love him. I love what they're doing in Arizona, although they won't make the playoffs, but I believe they have a brighter future than the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not. Minnesota versus the Chargers. Minnesota's only 1.5-point favorites. These lines can kind of get tricky from time to time, but this was an easy one. We're talking about the Chargers here. We're talking about Phillip Rivers. Never been to the Super Bowl before. Phillip Rivers, I'm sorry. He's at the end of his career. He should retire after this year. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. The Chargers, they've been the same over and over again. Obviously, when they had LT, LaDainian Tomlinson back in the day, they were good. But after that, they haven't been the same. To me, this was an easy pick, although I'm really not sold on Minnesota because I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins yet. He hasn't won a Monday Night Football game. He's 0-8 Monday Night Footballs, the primetime game. They got the Packers next weekend. I want to see that game. It's going to be a good one, but like I said, I'm not sold on Minnesota. They have a legit defense, yes, but overall, I'm not sold on them yet. But I did pick them, and they're playing the Chargers, obviously. Rams versus the Cowboys. This was a coin flip, which I thought was a coin flip. I wanted to go to the Rams, but I said if Dallas wants to make the playoffs, they have to win this game, no doubt. Same thing with the Rams, but the Cowboys laid the mark on it. And what did it start with? Like I told you guys, it starts with Zeke. It starts with Zeke. If Zeke rushes for over 100 yards, mathematically, they're going to win about 75, 80% of the time. That's crazy. And to me, it all starts with Zeke. They say Dak Prescott has to play well. No, it's Zeke. If they can run the ball with Zeke, it's dangerous because then they can add the play action into the play. Throw the football down the field. Yes, Dak's really improved in the past couple years, but it's all around Zeke. Zeke is the X factor every week. If Zeke has a big week next week against Philly, expect him to win. If he rushes for over 100 yards, expect him to win. It starts with Zeke, and it starts with their offensive line. If they do what they did against the Rams this past weekend and how they've been playing, the Cowboys can be a dangerous team in the playoffs. But we've seen from time to time again in the history, what do the Dallas Cowboys do in the playoffs? They lose. They end up losing, and to me, I don't want to see that. But the way they played the Rams, they can be a dangerous team, and they can run deep in the playoffs. And like I said, it starts with Zeke. Atlanta versus the 49ers. This was an upset. I went Atlanta because Atlanta is so inconsistent. That's why they won't make the playoffs. But to me, when Atlanta plays good, they're a playoff team every time. Just think back in 2016 when they made the Super Bowl run. They played great. They played like they did last week against 49ers. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball. To me, they're just so inconsistent. Yeah, I mean, dude, they were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl and blew the lead. I mean, dude, really? Just give the game to New England. It's like the coaching said, hey, we want to lose this game. We're going to throw it in the fourth quarter. We're 2 possessions up, but we're still going to throw the ball down the field. It's like, really? Why not run the clock? Run the ball. I don't understand it. And to me, Atlanta, definitely this was a crazy pick, I thought, but it turned out great. And this all goes back to Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G legit? Yes, he's won a couple Super Bowls as a backup quarterback. Let's not forget that, behind Tom Brady, the GOAT. But to me, Jimmy G, he still has to prove to me he can win a big playoff game. And to me, it's going to be dangerous. I mean, we have the 49ers, Seattle, Green Bay. I mean, the list goes on. The Cowboys. Maybe Philly, probably not Philly, but Cowboys are dangerous. All those teams, you just don't know. And to me, that's really what makes it dangerous right there. But to me, a big win for Atlanta. Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wanted to go Pittsburgh. Talked to a couple of my buddies. They went heavy on the Bills. And to me, it made sense. Josh Allen has really improved from last year and the year before. Are the Bills legit? I do believe the Bills are nice. They have a great, like I said, Josh Allen's really been proved to me from time to time again. He can pass the ball, pass the rack. He can make big plays. And to me, the Buffalo Bills really have an underrated defense. Good linebackers, good secondary. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if they upset the Patriots this weekend. I know it sounds insane, but I'll get more into that. But big win for the Bills. But like I said, the Steelers, they don't have a quarterback, dude. Who's their quarterback? Now that rapist Big Ben's out, who do they have? I mean, tell me, who do they have? But to me, huge win for the Bills. In the Colts versus the Saints, dude. I went heavy on the Saints. This was a no-brainer. We're talking about the Indianapolis Colts, dude. I mean, seriously, we haven't been good since we let go of Peyton, like I said. But to me, Drew Brees passes Peyton Manning for most all-time touchdown passes. To me, Drew Brees is a class act. He's a Hall of Famer, and I do want to see Drew Brees win a Super Bowl. Yes, the Saints were my Super Bowl pick last year. Yes, I got it wrong. And yes, again, they are my Super Bowl pick this year. I do believe they'll have good karma finally come their way. The past couple years, it's been tragic how they lost in the playoffs. From a blown call from the year before from a Hail Mary in Minnesota, which was insane to me. It's like, really? What? You know, it just doesn't happen. So to me, I do believe the Saints can really run deep in the playoffs, and it starts with Drew Brees. And Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer. He can make the plays. We've seen it from time to time again. That's why I'm picking the Saints to win it, because of Drew Brees and what they do. But like I said, it was a huge week. 14 for 16, baby. Money, money, money. Let's go. We got the Saints, baby. And I told you, heavy on the Green Bay Packers. That was my main pick, baby. Let's go. It's the Clown with Cap Show.